start at the macro level. We look large at many of the things that we have to do, and we start putting them down, either in a calendar or on our weekly grid, a to-do list type of item where you need to write down every week everything you need to do, and then review it every day. Maybe before you go to bed at night, you look at that list of things to do, or better yet, the first thing you get up in the morning, you take a look at that list, and it keeps it in your consciousness. This is what I have to do today.
Okay, that leads me into my next question. Being a business owner also here in Logan, as sometimes there's unexpected things that just fly up out of nowhere and can blow. It can be any schedule killer from where I sit at. Things like my kid fell out of a tree and broke its arm, and things like that. So how do we, as now time managers, take our grids and adjust for that? How do you go about doing that?
Well, by being more organized, you are able to adapt when emergencies happen. When something happens to a loved one and you are pulled away, truly our loved ones are our most important, the most important part of our lives. And when something happens, we need to go there, okay? So let's say you have a 2 o'clock appointment with a very important client. You get the phone call, child hurt, whatever, and you must now rush away. But now knowing, and it being in your consciousness, being on the front of your mind that, I have a 2 o'clock appointment and you're rushing over, what do I do? Well, the good thing is, once you get to the hospital, to home, or wherever, and everything, the crisis has reduced, it has gone down, you can then make the quick phone call and say, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to meet with you, but I'd like to reschedule. And here's why I can't meet with you. Your client is going to be much more appreciative of that than if you rush out and you forget the client. You don't call back. You leave the client hanging. And then when you call the next day, and it's a very legitimate reason, but then the client then questions, is this really true, or is he making this up? But if you're on the ball, and you make that call in a relatively soon time, then I think that the client understands, because we're all human. We have emergencies. Those sorts of things happen, But by being organized, you can still serve the client and also take care of the most important things in your life.
So it would be safe to say that honesty would be the best policy in this situation, and also, as time managers, if you're honest with your person that you're dealing with at that exact time, so it wouldn't be logical for somebody to make up a big, elaborate story fit for a Hollywood movie. Just handle it with honesty. Would that be fair to say?
Well, that's always my policy. Even when I'm not as organized as I wished I was, I usually come clean. I'll tell someone, I really dropped the ball on this one. I apologize. And people seem to appreciate that more than, some sort of far-fetched story. So I usually come clean with that sort of thing, but I really think that if you're organized and you know that you're missing something important because of something important, like a loved one being hurt or something, that tells your client that you're human, your values are intact, and you're also organized and want their business, okay?
That's awesome. Here's my next question, and the next question I have is, okay, this has happened. I was supposed to be here, but now I'm there. So would it be safe to say that we would have to reprioritize down the week? Let's say like this has happened on a Tuesday. We look at Thursday and we have our classes. After classes, we have like an hour dedicated to washing our car. Would that be like a good ideal to maybe kick one of those less important things out of the way and reschedule the bigger important thing during that time?
Absolutely. Brian, the thing that I like to teach students is and this really comes more from Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. This is not my idea. But I like to teach students that what you have to do is you schedule the big things first, the most important things in your life. And we all say, well, family is most important. Well, most of us say family is most important. But when we start scheduling our time, it doesn't appear that family is most important. So, I ask students, what is most important in your life? And you write it down. Those things go in first. You schedule those items first. Then, the less important things that you still have to do, those go in next into your schedule. And then all the other things that are grabbing your time. Who's winning American Idol? All that time you're spending on Facebook, or hanging out with your friends, texting, all of those things that, that take our time, but they're truly not as important as the big things. So when we put the big items in first, they get priority. And when one of those big items, is taken by an emergency, then you're able to replace one of the less important items on your list later on. So, okay, I don't get to watch American Idol tonight. I have to work on that paper that's due. You do that when you're organized. You see, if you're not organized and you're unaware that the paper's due, then you'll go ahead and watch American Idol, and your paper's due tomorrow.
And you've missed that opportunity.
There you go.
Hey guys, it's Brian Basden here. We got much more on time management with the 3rd and final installment of this episode. So you guys click on over and watch part 3. But for this one, we're out of here. We'll see you later.